This train station cost Lagos State $1.2 billion. It was opened in September of 2023. That was 2 years ago. Today, I'm going to show you what it looks like. Come with me. This is not a Lagos infrastructure, it's a mess video. I went to Marina station expecting to find that. I didn't. The train works. The AC inside the train works. The Wi-Fi works. The no eating rule is strictly enforced. I watched them enforce it. So if you came here for me to trash the blue line, you can stop watching now. But I did find something. And it's smaller and in some ways more concerning than the obvious stuff. Stay with me. I went to the station with 3 things I wanted to test. The condition of the building itself, the self-service ticketing, and the toilet. Because public infrastructure toilet tells you everything you need to know about whether a place is being maintained or just being operated. So let's start with the ticketing. Now let us try to top up.
A few moments later.
My money is gone. Apparently, I just inserted money into this and it's here, stock. But let's check. The money might be inside. Yeah, I have already. I've inserted money into it.
You went and pressed amount?
Yeah? So is there a special way it works?
How much you want?
Yes.
At the front, you see that machine.
So what do we need to do? Put money, right? Oh, it has entered. All right. Thank you very much. So the machine works. But did you see what just happened? I needed an attendant to walk me through it. A regular commuter in a hurry on their way to work, they are not getting through that machine alone, which means the queue moves to the attendant, which means the whole point of self-service, speed, lower staffing cost, fewer human bottlenecks, disappears. Now, the building itself. The station is wide, well ventilated. From far, it looks the way you'd expect a $1.2 billion piece of infrastructure to look. From close, it tells a different story. Look at the walls. That's dust accumulated on the walls of a station that opened just over 2 years ago. That's not a cleaning problem from yesterday. That's a cleaning standard from the beginning. Then I went to the toilet. Let me be fair. The toilet wasn't dirty. It wasn't broken. There was no scandal in there. But it didn't smell fresh. There was no fragrance system, no proper finishing. The air freshener was just sitting on the floor on a piece of concrete slab. It was propped up. And I want to pause here because this is the kind of thing people will say I'm being too picky about. Latifa, it's just the toilet, as long as it works. Here it's why it matters. Finishings are a culture. The way you finish a building tells you whether the people running it think it is something to be maintained or something that's already been delivered and now they are just waiting to hand it over to someone else. Marina station doesn't feel finished. One more thing I noticed before we get into the bigger picture. The station has retail space, built-in, designed for stores, designed to bring in rent. Some of it is occupied, a lot of it isn't. You can still walk past empty storefronts in a station that handles thousands of commuters a day. That is rent that's not been collected. And you can be the next shop owner there. And also, as you will see in a few minutes, there's a maintenance budget that's not been funded. Old that old. And then I saw something that put everything else into context.
While I was on the platform, a train pulled in. A Chinese man stepped off the front of it. I don't know exactly what his role was. you could have been a driver, you could have been an engineer, you could have been a supervisor. But here's what I do know. 2 years after this line opened, the blue line is still being operated and maintained by CCECC, the Chinese company that built it, not by LAMATA nor Lagos State. And that's the moment everything I've been seeing at the station made sense. Because here's the thing nobody is talking about. CCECC, the Chinese company that built the blue line, is also the one currently operating and maintaining it. They've been doing it since the line opened in September 2023. And the train, the station, the signaling, the power plant, all of it is supposed to be handed over to LAMATA, to us, Nigerians. That handover clock started in September 2023, 2 years, which means as I'm publishing this video, that contract is either expiring or has already expired.
Let's talk about the other part, the money. How much did this station and the line it sits on actually cost? And more importantly, how much is being spent to keep it running? The Lagos State government officially says the first phase of the blue line, the 13 kilometers from Marina to Maito, the part that's actually running, costs 1.2 billion US dollars. That's the official number from the state. But here's where it gets interesting. The Chinese company that built it, China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, at one point published on their own website that the project cost $182 million. 1.2 billion versus 182 million. That is not a small gap. LAMATA later clarified that the 192 million figure was for separate subcontract, survey, design, and 1 kilometer of track, not the full line. Okay, maybe. But the fact that we even had to have that argument tells you something about how transparent this project has been. Lagos State's 2025 budget is 3.66 trillion naira, the biggest budget in the history of the state. 62% of it is going to capital expenditure, which means new things, building new things. There is a 146 billion naira federal counterpart contribution captured in the 2025 national budget for the green line, the new line, the next thing. But where in this budget is the line item for maintaining what was already built? Because I went looking. If you find it, please put it in the comment and I will update this video.
The reason I can't find it is simple. Right now, maintenance is bundled inside the CCECC operations contract. It's not a separate line item because it doesn't need to be yet. But that contract is a 2-year deal. So the real question is, what's the plan for maintenance after it ends? I went looking for that too. I couldn't find that either.
Before you say I'm being too negative, that I'm fear-mongering, let me show you something. Because what I'm about to discuss is not theoretical. It's already happened to another African country. In September 2015, Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia, opened the first light rail system in sub-Saharan Africa. It was a big moment, built by the Chinese, financed by the Chinese, hailed as the future of African urban transport. Sounds familiar? They had 41 trains. They were moving over 100,000 passengers a day. The system was on par with metros in major global cities.
By 2023, fewer than half of those 41 trains were still operational. By September 2024, only 15 of them were still running, and ridership had collapsed from over 100,000 passengers a day to 56,000.
The rest were sitting in depot, broken, waiting for spare parts that the country didn't have the foreign exchange to import. To bring the system back to standard will cost an additional $60 million on top of what they already spent. The economists who studied what went wrong identified 2 main reasons. 1, the maintenance was being done entirely by the Chinese engineers. The skills, the technical know-how, none of it was being transferred to Ethiopian engineering fast enough. So when the foreign team's contract ended and there were spare parts to install, no one local knew how to install them. 2, there was no dedicated ring-fenced budget for maintenance. When the country hit hard economic times, and Ethiopia did with the war in Tigray and the foreign exchange crisis, maintenance was the first thing to be cut. So, does any of that sound familiar? A Chinese contractor running maintenance, a skills transfer agreement that's supposed to happen but isn't being publicly tracked, no clear maintenance line item in the state budget, a foreign exchange crisis at the federal level. Lagos in 2026 is sitting roughly where Addis Ababa was in 2018, and we have maybe 2 to 4 years before we find out what kind of city we are. I've spent 6 minutes telling you what is wrong and what could go wrong. Let me spend the next minute and a half telling you what right looks like. Delhi Metro opened in 2002. It serves over 28 million people in National Capital Region, and to this day, it is consistently rated one of the best run metro systems in the world. Their on-time rate is 99.97%, even at peak hours, even on the oldest lines. The trains do not break down. How did they do it? The metro pays for itself. Delhi Metro doesn't beg the government budget every year. They build their own revenue. They lease retail space inside stations. They develop real estate around stations. They consult on metro projects in other Indian cities and get paid for it. They run training schools and charge tuition. In one fiscal year, they made over $550 million in revenue from these activities, separate from ticket sales. Delhi Metro is run as a corporation, not as a department. The CEO has the authority to award contracts, hire staff, and manage the budget independently. Politicians don't get to interfere in operations. They set policy, they get out of the way. That's the part that's hardest for us, but it's not impossible. LAMATA was actually designed to operate semi-autonomously. The law is already on the books. But what we are missing is the practice. Before I made this video, I sent an email to LAMATA's head of corporate communication. Here's what I'm asking. 1. Publish the maintenance budget for the Blue Line. Put it in the 2026 budget as a clear ring-fenced line item. Show us the number. 2. Publish the skills transfer schedule with CCECC. How many Nigerian engineers have been certified? On what system? When does full handover happen? 3. Make the operating contract public. We paid for it. We deserve to read it. 3 things, not unreasonable, not impossible, just transparency. I am Latifa Miyaki. My channel is about the side of Nigeria that doesn't make the news. The good, the bad, the beautiful, the ugly. If that's your kind of vibe, subscribe. If you watch this whole thing, thank you very much. These videos matters. Somebody has to talk about all of this situation. And if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe. It is free.